Hey guys, as promised, here's how I make my fine lining brush. Please excuse my horrible nails and all the paint that's all over my hands. I'm an artist. Okay, so all of my fine lines are all done with a self-made fine lining brush that I always talk about and always promise I'm going to make a tutorial on. So today I'm going to show you how I make that brush from an old brush and a brand new brush that I purchased online. I'm going to leave a link in the description for the type of brushes that I purchased on Amazon. Now I use hair cutting scissors. They're probably the cheapest ones I could find, but they cut the bristles really, really easily. This is the brand of paintbrush I use, Meeden. I buy a whole package of them, and I usually end up cutting every single one of them to make fine lining brushes for myself. Here's the one I'm currently using. I'm even going to show you a really cool magic trick to make it have that little curve in it, because everyone always asks about the curve. It's all about the curve. Okay, so this is my paintbrush. Keep in mind, it's about how light you're using the paintbrush as well. And a steady hand. So this is a brand new brush that I've just dipped in black paint, and that's how thick it is right from the package. That's as thin as I can get it, trying to not press very hard on the paper. But mine, it just kind of goes on nice and smooth. But you can also make thick lines. It's all about the pressure you use as well. So you got to work on not being too heavy, and also cut your brushes like I do, unless you can find them at the store that you're comfortable with without having to chop it up. So here's an older one. It's a bit fuzzy now. It's been sitting in the water. It's got a little bit of crusty paint on it. So I'm going to show you how to make this fuzzy little brush a fine lining brush like mine. And it's been used, so you don't have to use brand new brushes. But I start off with like pretty skinny fine brushes to begin with, and then I just make them a lot smaller. So what I've done is I've just held back about 10% and cut off 90%. So I cut off like majority of the bristles on the brush. And you just grab one side of it and hold one side down. If it separates, cut the separated ones off, because it's easier to tell if it's going to separate if you dip it in water or dip it in paint. It'll separate right away. Cut off the separated pieces so that doesn't cause like an issue. But now it's nice and fine, works just fantastic. I'm going to use a brand new one as well. With brand new ones, I like to get the bristles a little bit wet before I give them a haircut. Just like at the hairdressers. So I'm going to dip it in some fresh water, and then I'm going to do the same thing I did with the old one. I'm going to pull away about 10% of the bristles off to one side, hold them down with my thumb or my finger, and cut off 90% of the bristles. You don't need all those when you want to do really fine lines. So if you've seen my Starry Night, Northern Sky tutorial, I use a fine lining brush for the trees. So these are perfect for that as well. Just giving a little bit of gold on the edges of the trees, or whatever you need to do. Whiskers on a cat's face. These are great. They work awesome. So after chopping off 90% of the bristles, we now have a nice fine lining brush that's brand new right out of the package. And everybody's happy. Thank you so much for waiting patiently for the tutorial. You guys are awesome. Thank you for subscribing. I just want to show you how I put a curve in the brush. It's really simple. There's no special technique. I literally just don't pay very much attention to my brushes. I throw them in the cup of water and leave them there. Always, usually overnight, and then all of the time after that when I'm not using it. So when it's not in use, it's sitting in the cup of water, and it ends up having a little curve to it, which is actually kind of helpful getting in some of those details. So if you want it curved, keep it in the water and ignore it. Thanks, guys. I love you. Bye.